Welcome back, everybody, to The Arrow. My name's Chandler.
My name's Tony.
I literally almost said the wrong name, but not as a joke. And this is the podcast where we talk about Avatar: The Last Airbender, except for not today because we're doing a bonus episode and we're not doing the mailroom. Tony, what are we doing today?
Super hot.
Fire. I spit that.
No, we are playing. we are playing Superfight.
Yeah, and so this episode is actually a good chunk of it's going to be going up on our YouTube channel. So if you want to go subscribe there and leave us some comments there, but you're actually going to be able to see us playing it a little bit, even though there's not a whole lot of visual components to it, but it's like a nice little supplement.
Yeah.
So what Superfight is a game that I really like, and I think that Tony would really like, where we get to basically build superheroes. Basically, to build superheroes. Like, I can't tell if it was close enough or not. Like.
Oh, you're probably fine.
Yeah. So what Superfight is, it's a game that I own where you get to build superheroes, and the game also kind of gets to build your superheroes. So what we're going to be doing, we're both going to be building our own kind of superheroes and kind of arguing with each other, doing really super nerdy stuff about who would actually win in a fight, and then our judges, which are going to comprise of, everybody give us some applause for Lawrence. Woo! We got Liz. Woo! Marc. And Charisse. They're all going to be kind of switching off, judging us and timing us, and they're going to tell us who wins. We're going to do 3 rounds of this. So.
All right.
And then the way it's going to work is that we're going to build our character. We're going to get 3 minutes each. After each of our 3 minutes, they get to ask us. Each of them gets to ask us a question before they make their final decision. You don't have to ask a question.
You have the ability to ask a question.
Yeah, that's one of your superpowers.
If you want clarification.
So, all right, Tony, we're going to get started here. Take 3 white cards, which are the characters.
3 white cards.
And take 4 black cards, which are the powers. Just pull them randomly. 1, 2. I need 2 more. So
3 white cards.
3 white cards.
And 4
black cards.
4 black cards.
Yeah, and so what I've got here, I've just got. All right, well I'm gonna work with what I've got. But yeah, so I don't know if everybody knows. I think they do know because I did that Instagram live that one time. But I love playing board games. Charisse and I own probably more than 100 board games. 100 board games about.
That is insane to me.
Yeah.
You guys own over 100 or 100 board games.
Mm-hmm.
I told someone recently who was telling me that, oh yeah, I love playing board games.
Like, no, you don't.
And I was like, oh. They're like, yeah, I have board game nights at my house. I was like, oh, cool. How many games do you have? Oh, we got like 15 or 20. I was like, my friend just hit 100 games. What?
Yeah.
You don't like board games.
Yeah. No, it's really like, oh man, I have 2 really good cards here for my superpower, but I can only choose one of them.
So I choose 1 white card and 1 black card.
You choose 1 white card and 1 black card.
All right.
Something Exodia.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm trying. I'm really trying.
Yeah, trying to sound like Exodia. Well, Exodia became like irrelevant after a while, didn't he?
Yeah.
After like that first season.
After they lost the cards.
And then they got Cypher the Sky Dragon and the Winged Dragon of Ra and Obelisk the Tormentor. Do you remember those ones?
Yes.
I liked Slifer the Sky Dragon a lot. Which one do I want to use?
He was the worst, though.
No, Obelisk the Tormentor was the worst one.
No, Obelisk was tight.
Obelisk only had 4,000 attack and defense.
Yeah, but he could kill anyone in the show.
Slifer.
In the show, there was not.
Yeah,
there was
no, but in the
rules.
show,
They did whatever
he
they
kept
wanted.
going up and up and up and up. Like it got stronger every turn.
Slifer's a conditional strength.
Yeah,
he's an infinity as long as you keep feeding him.
He was the weakest in the show, for sure.
No, Obelisk was easily the weakest in the show, but we could give him to Kaiba.
Right. I don't know.
All right, I'm gonna take this one. All right,
Yeah.
so you and I, we're gonna discard our cards over here.
I thought we got to keep them.
Oh, you keep them until the end of the turn, I guess. But because you might have cards that let you do. All right, so Tony, we're gonna reveal. We're going to reveal our cards. So I'm going to go first. So I'm going to reveal my character, my superpower, then I draw a random superpower, okay? So I've got Chuck Norris. right? I am starting off strong. Chuck Norris wearing an impenetrable tuxedo, and my random power is going to be inside of a robotic, pick a character card from my hand, okay. Inside of a robotic moose. So I have Chuck Norris. I have Chuck Norris wearing an impenetrable tuxedo inside a robotic moose. What do you got, Tony?
I fold.
You can't fold. You gotta go. You gotta go through with it.
I have a vampire slayer that's 3 stories tall.
Okay.
And it's the one that you told me for the example. Has feet instead of hands.
Okay. So a vampire slayer.
Ooh.
I wonder how he does that. So y'all get to choose who gets to argue first, Tony or Chandler.
Oh. Tony.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sharice,
Okay.
you're gonna start the timer.
Okay.
Yeah.
Whenever you start.
All right, go. So, a vampire slayer, very skilled, very innate individual that has been doing this for probably their lifetime, right? Because vampire slayers, they always come from heritage. So he has these skills that have been being passed down from century to century. So for sure, even though he does have feet for hands, I mean, that doesn't seem like it's been stopping him for whatever reason. Because I feel like if his family believed that he wasn't capable of this, they wouldn't have trained him in this, right? But also, he's 3 stories tall. I mean, how often do you go up against someone that's just slightly taller than you? At this point in time, they're 3 stories tall. Like, I feel like even though, well, essentially there's 4 feet at this point, that's just 4 feet to smash someone. If you're that tall, you're not really thinking of massive amounts of skill, even though you might be thinking of strategy, but you're definitely thinking like, I can squeeze them, I can crush them.
You don't get to ask questions yet.
Okay, I can crush them with my feet.
Which feet?
Which feet? All 4 feet if I really wanted to. But yeah, I feel like just mentally they're very strategic individuals to be able to hunt vampires. I mean, vampires are creatures that are, I mean, they're very hard to kill on themselves. I mean, they have a lot of different abilities. So for this person to be able to still do that, I think that's extremely impressive and shows their valor and what they're capable of doing.
What does he use to kill vampires? I'm just wondering.
Stuff.
Like what?
I don't know. I revoked the rest of my time.
Okay. How much time did he take?
Yes, he still has like 1 minute and 9 seconds.
Yeah, I don't know.
All right. So it's my turn. All right. Let me start my argument by saying that Chuck Norris is not a vampire. That's where I'm starting.
Wish he could be a vampire.
Not in this matchup. No, he doesn't. So I'm starting. It's not super effective. Chuck Norris is not a vampire. First up, we all know. I mean, it's a little bit. We haven't talked about it in a long time. It's not been in meme culture for a long time because everybody just knows innately that Chuck Norris is like kind of like the ultimate. You know, it's like. You know, you've got your Gokus, you've got your Supermen, and then you've got your Chuck Norrises, right? Like he's kind of at the upper echelon, and so he's wearing an impenetrable tuxedo. So I mean, if you want to like crush him or anything, like it's impenetrable. Like you can't get through it, you can't crush it. It's like it's impenetrable, bro. And so I don't care about his neck either. You're motioning to his neck. You're motioning to his hands or whatever. I mean, have you seen Chuck Norris? Chuck Norris throws down the hands. I don't care if you're 3 stories tall. What, 30 feet? 30 feet, that's not that big. And instead, I'm also inside of a giant robotic moose. To level the playing field, a giant robot, that's at least 3 stories tall, that robotic moose, inside of my impenetrable tuxedo. And do you know what moose do? Have you ever seen a car after it's run into a moose? It gets messed up. So your vampire slayer who can't, it's not, like, let me, for the audience one more time, he's not a Chuck Norris slayer. He's a vampire slayer with only feet. So therefore, I think that it's very easy to see that Chuck Norris, with all of his martial arts skills, his innate strength, and his just, his ultimate power, wearing an impenetrable tuxedo, so he can't be touched, but he's also inside of a giant robotic moose. We don't know what this robotic moose can do. It probably has missiles. It probably has, defensive capabilities. as well as offensive capabilities. So I'm just gonna say that Chuck Norris is easily the right choice. I yield the rest of my time. Who's gonna be judging this first round? I guess the three of you, Mark, Lawrence, and Liz.
Sure.
Do any of you have questions? Say I'm loud and proud.
I don't know about questions. I have a conclusion already.
Oh, so you're ready to vote.
I am ready to vote.
Liz, do you have any questions?
Well,
Oh.
No, I think he does though.
Lawrence.
see, impenetrable is a very vague word, because on a technicality, it just means cannot be penetrated, but that doesn't mean you can't be crushed.
Mm-hmm.
See, because that's where I'm. If we're going on a strict black and white, what the word means.
Okay,
It means that
so you're asking
you
me.
can't pierce through. That.
You're asking me if I can be crushed. I mean, in theory, I could be crushed, but have you seen Chuck Norris? Have you seen his body?
Right.
So there's
want-
that.
But again, Chuck
I want
Norris
that to be
is
clarified.
simply a legend. I mean, he's
he's a real person, too.
I mean, exactly. But so if you're taking him just as a man, I mean, you could take Bruce Lee, who's been able
But I'm
to
also
take
inside
him
of a
down.
giant robotic moose. I'm just remembering. We
A
have
moose.
a giant robotic
Well,
moose.
does the card say giant?
It does say giant.
Yeah, it's shit.
It does say giant.
Because I'm like, a moose is only 6 feet tall.
Yeah.
That's tall, but I'm like, not giant. I'm like, shit, it says giant.
It does say giant. So that is where I'm going to end that question. Have you all reached a conclusion?
I have, yes.
I think I have.
Liz?
Yeah.
All right, let's hear it.
I think Chuck Norris wins.
Oh, I'm with Tony.
Go with Chuck Norris.
Hey!
Ah.
I knew you were going to be with Tony, too.
No, but the thing is, I think Chuck Norris kills himself in that scenario.
Why?
Because he's in the impenetrable suit,
Suit.
right? But he's also, it's like a double positive.
What?
I feel, yeah. If you're in
It's like a
Impenetrable
double
suit,
positive.
Suit, you know what I mean?
yeah.
Like, because Chuck Norris can't be contained, but he's being contained right now.
I see what you're saying. I understand.
I think Tony wins by default.
The judges have spoken. You can't change your answer.
Y'all are
Oh,
whack.
Ray, really?
Y'all are whack.
Okay,
You're-
see,
Thank you.
Y'all are whack.
if the rules are what we've said already rules through, then Chandler technically wins. But I didn't think of that,
No, come on.
and that's a very strong point. That's a very, but technically Tony
Kills
did not.
himself.
Tony did not make the
Tony won by
argument.
default.
I couldn't make an argument. I didn't have a rebuttal time.
All right. So Chandler 1, Tony 0. I'm going to destroy. So this next round,
I put
Lawrence,
over here?
you can time, and then Charisse, you can be the judge. All right, Tony, let's do it again. You know the drill.
I don't want to.
Let's see.
It's 3, right?
3 white, 4 black. There's another version of this game. Instead of superheroes, it's Your Perfect Date, and it's called Red
Yeah.
Flags.
Yeah, we played that.
I've
That-
seen that. I've seen it on the internet.
It's pretty fun. It's really funny, and I think it's more approachable for like normies.
Normies.
It's definitely more approachable for normies. Okay, let's see.
How many times have you mentioned their ex?
Okay, I don't like that power. Possibility. Power. Possibility. Oh, I think I pulled 5. They're all really bad anyways. There's only like 2 good choices. I'll put this one back. It has hands instead of feet. It was the opposite of yours from last time. Oh my god. I think I'll take those 2. So yeah, Red Flags is a good one. Those are the only 2 games that are like this that I know
Right.
of. But I also don't get a lot of people to play this with me very often, so this is really exciting for me.
This is really just for Chandler.
Yeah, 100%. 100%. All right, Tony, I'll let you reveal your character first.
Oh, okay. Are you ready for this? I don't think everybody's ready for this. This is some like next level stuff right here. You ready? All right. Everyone who works at the Krusty Krab.
Wait, that's one that I wrote.
And they can shoot webs.
And what's your extra power?
Oh, yeah.
Spider sponge.
You can change into a blank at will.
Choose a character card from your hand. A character card. A character card, Tony.
Oh, dang it.
What are you going to change into?
Nothing.
You have to.
It's at will, so it's okay.
Yeah, you don't have to
Yeah.
use the power. It's just an ability that you have.
101 Dalmatians.
Wait. Okay.
Top 10 anime crossover.
Top 10 anime crossover. Well, I also have a card that I wrote a long time ago. I have Bing Bong, if anyone knows Bing Bong from Inside Out.
Oh,
The
yeah.
imaginary friend from Inside Out.
Yeah.
I saw the movie.
I saw the movie. I don't remember.
Ooh, this is going to be a hard sell for me then. And he's armed with a sadness ray.
Oh, wow, that's like the perfect movie.
And I can stop time while holding my breath.
Sad.
All right. So I am going to go in, and I'll start first since you started first last time.
Okay.
So Bing Bong is an imaginary friend, as you know, Tony. But as for everybody else in the audience or anyone listening at home or watching at home who doesn't know who Bing Bong is, he's an imaginary friend from the movie Inside Out. He's kind of like an elephant thing. He's pretty big, but he's pretty happy and everything all the time. And people love to go and hug him and stuff like that. I know I'm talking really fast because I have a little bit of time to explain a lot. So,
I use that time to,
yeah.
to explain.
Slow it down in post.
Huh? Yeah. So Bing Bong. I know. Anyway, so Bing Bong, everyone loves Bing Bong. He's like the best imaginary friend who ever existed, maybe besides Blue. And so what ends up happening is that he's armed with a sadness ray. So everyone at the Krusty Krab, we all know how dramatic everybody in Bikini Bottom is. So if you shoot someone in Bikini Bottom with a sadness ray, they are completely immobilized. They're completely useless, and they can't do much. And we know this for a fact. We've all watched SpongeBob. Everybody who, whenever they're sad, they're completely immobilized. They just sit there and they cry, and water comes out of their eyes even though they're already underwater. It doesn't make that much sense. But Bing Bong can also stop time while he's holding his breath. So whatever you're wanting to do, if you want to shoot webs at me, I can just stop breathing for a second and then move out of the way. Right? I just stop breathing for a second and move out of the way. So really, this isn't a fight of me like overpowering you. This is just a fight of me immobilizing you, and I don't think I really have to do much to be able to immobilize you. I yield my time.
Nice.
Tony?
All right, we ready? I'm not. So everyone who works at the Krusty Krab, who does that involve? That involves
SpongeBob, Patrick, not Patrick.
Patrick has worked there.
Cool.
But it says works at. Currently.
What time are we currently talking about?
Currently in all of them.
Honestly. So we have SpongeBob, we have Squidward, and we have Mr. Krabs.
Yeah, 3 people.
We have 3 individuals. Well, first of all, if we can truly think about that, there's an episode where SpongeBob is getting bullied. He's very fearful of this bully beating him up, and to the point where he doesn't even want to leave his house. He's scared. He's frightened. At the end of that episode, we see that SpongeBob gets punched. Absolutely nothing happens. He's getting continuously punched out, and it shows for hours. He's sleeping while this guy is punching him, and nothing is happening. This guy is impenetrable. He can't be hurt. What individual? Chuck Norris can come out of nowhere and hit him straight in the jaw. He can roundhouse kick him. No matter what's gonna happen? Nothing. Absolutely nothing. And yes, you might have a sadness rate, but how is that gonna work on Squidward? How's that gonna work on Mr. Krabs? I highly doubt that they're immobilized because they're sad. Squidward, it is sad all the time. I feel like that's not gonna do anything to him at that point in time. And we've seen these individuals also have superpowers at a particular point in time. So what's keeping them from going back and getting those suits again? Because it wasn't them that had the powers, but it was the clothing that had the powers. So we saw that SpongeBob had super speed, able to run up a mountain and back with. And he didn't even look like he can move. How long does it take Bing Bong to hold his breath?
I mean, you don't have to inhale the.
I know. Okay, even just hold your breath. Even just hold your breath. SpongeBob can get to him, especially if he has those webs, and wrap him up and take him out right then and there. And then Squidward had Krakatoa, I forgot what it's called, but he was able to shoot lava from his head when he was getting angry. So sadness rate, I don't think that's really going to affect him at that point in time. If he gets sad, he can get mad after that and then shoot lava. And if they truly wanted to, they can become 101 Dalmatians just because we're so overpowered at this point. Like, what are you going to do? You're trying to immobilize me. You're trying to waste time, but I am going to outlast you. How old is SpongeBob? How is SpongeBob came out in 1999, and he still looks exactly the same. So I highly doubt you're going to waste my time, or you're going to outlast me at this point in time. And honestly, Bing Bong disappears when people forget about him.
Time.
May I ask the judges for a rebuttal since I didn't use all of my time?
No.
Is that in the rules, Sharice? Do you know?
Well, I said we could have a rebuttal. Chandler said no, so.
I would have rebutted last time then. We can do that next round.
We technically have you on tape saying no rebuttals.
Oh my god, okay. Okay. Do y'all have any questions, judges?
You three.
Youth 3.
Although I know who I
How does the Dalmatian breathe underwater?
That was just an option, really. I mean, puppies can hold their breath for a little bit of time, go right back into SpongeBob and everybody else. That's really just a show off at that point in time, honestly.
That's all I got.
Other questions? Anyone have any questions for me?
I didn't see Inside Out, so sorry.
I can explain. Bing Bong is imaginary friend. If the person that thought of him forgets about him, he disappears. You want to outlast me? Your kid's going to forget about you.
Wouldn't an imaginary friend not need to breathe, therefore always having time stopped?
But if you don't exist,
There was a lot of points in Inside Out that he was running, he was out of breath. He definitely needed to breathe.
I mean, you can't confirm that for Mark because he hasn't seen the movie.
no.
Do we have a final answer?
Yes.
All right, Sharice.
Tony.
Yeah, this one's going to Tony.
I mean, it's all
Yeah.
but Liz.
I'm not.
It-
I'd vote for Tony, but I'm not in this.
You were in this
You were in
round.
this round, yeah. It was you 3.
Oh, it was a unanimous Tony vote? Okay.
Mine was also Tony.
I'm
I'm not in this round, but
You would have beat Chuck Norris that round, I think.
Okay.
it was what lost me is you kept saying imaginary over and over and over, and I went, so he's not real. He can't
You
exist.
can't hurt me. SpongeBob's not real. I don't know.
But wouldn't that technically mean that he could also not beat me in a fight?
No, but he can turn to a dog, so.
So it works out.
Those are real.
Okay.
These are all imaginary people. So
I got
But,
1, 2,
yeah,
3.
they're all imaginary characters.
Yeah.
Your character's premise is being imaginary.
yeah.
Yeah, and then once you get a dog, usually kids forget about your imaginary friends.
Bang!
I turn into a puppy, go it to her, and then she forgets about it.
Okay.
So we're 1 for 1 is the
Yeah.
tiebreaker.
Yeah, it is.
Yes, it
Tiebreaker
is.
round.
Yes, it is.
1, 2, 3,
There we go.
4.
Wow. I wish I had this card last time. What the heck? None of these are helpful.
Me either. Damn it.
I've got good characters, but terrible powers. I'm gonna have to trust in the heart of the cards for my powers this time. Okay. Okay.
Did you draw a Slifer?
You know, it's a possibility. I feel like.
Damn,
I'm having a hard time here. It's between these two. Oh, wait, who's? Wait, I
Who's
want to know who's
judging?
judging. Who's judging this round?
it doesn't even matter for me.
I'll be
I
back
got.
How about
Okay, wait, Mark's not in. Okay, I think this makes it easier.
you're welcome.
Thank you. So
Mark's out, I
you
have
gotta
a
keep
chance.
Oh
time.
yeah.
Dude, oh my god,
okay.
you got this, I think. Damn.
Jen already does my strategy for every game I play with him.
Beat Chandler.
Yeah.
That's literally the. Okay, Tony. Okay.
Any means necessary.
Oh wait.
I really, damn.
All right, I'm gonna present myself. All right.
This could be a hard one.
So I drew a dragon. So not Slifer specifically, but I drew a dragon who throws knives. Maybe it was Trogdor.
Trogdor.
Trogdor. Are you sure it's Trogdor, not Trogdor?
The
bir-
video says Trogdor.
I thought it was Trogdor.
Yeah.
Burninating the peoples. who in this room doesn't know what I'm talking about?
No, I got Charlie.
I know. No, I got Trogdor.
Dude, Homestar Runner.
I know Trogdor.
I know Homestar Runner.
I heard
Yeah.
Trogdor growing up.
Oh, shoot. I don't know.
All right, so I've got a dragon who also throws knives, and is made of mirrors.
All right.
Wow.
I have a velociraptor
That's not as good as a dragon.
that can turn invisible.
Same.
I wonder if we can hear the trumpet in the background.
Eh.
This you can.
And explodes if they stop moving.
All right, let's do this. Okay. A velociraptor who turns invisible, who explodes. This is a terrible round.
All right.
All right, so, all right, Mark, you get to choose who goes first.
I'll let you go first.
You want me to go first? All right. So I know I'm not invisible like this velociraptor over here, but if I'm made of mirrors, I'm like effectively invisible. You know, like, like if I'm reflecting all of the light around me, you actually can't necessarily see me all the time. You know, like imagine like y'all saw like Spider-Man: Homecoming, right? And on the plane that was like made out of like reflective like holographic mirrors and stuff like that, the plane was basically invisible. That's basically my dragon. Like he's made of mirrors, he's basically invisible. He also comes with all the powers of a dragon, which is like a velociraptor but much cooler. So he has he has like, you know, flames and he can fly and, you know, magic. And then it doesn't say what kind of dragon, so I can also be one of those dragons that like transforms into people, you know, like from what's her name, like Miss Kobayashi's Dragon Maid, if you guys have seen that show. Anime. It's like a super fantasy slice of life, really good. Highly recommend. It's super funny. And so like, yeah, dragons have magic, dragons have fire, dragons have flight. Dragons are stronger than velociraptors. Dragons can talk to people. Dragons can transform. We also have, you know, American Dragon Jake Long. I'm just gonna like name off a bunch of dragons. We got American Dragon Jake Long. We've got the dragon from Shrek. We've got Kobayashi. We've got what are some other dragons we've got? We've got Shenron. We've got. I can keep going for ages, even though I can't think of any right now. But we've got so many dragons. And so, like, the Made of Mirrors thing is just really, you know, the Velociraptor is going to try to find me, but I'm so reflective that, like, I'm effectively invisible. And then he's just going to run past me and not see me. Or he'll run into me, but without noticing that I'm there. And then that will cause him to stop, and then he'll explode and die. And so I just think that there's so many things in my toolkit that allow me to be a better combatant than the gentleman to my right or my left. It's definitely my left. I yield the rest of my time.
Go.
Ready?
Yes.
All right. All right, go. He said if I run into him, he's made of mirrors. I won. I mean, how difficult is it to destroy a mirror? I mean, I've done that accidentally a couple times myself. Yes, I am a velociraptor, which is technically a smaller version of a dragon, if you can look at
One
it
might
that
say
way.
not a dragon at all.
Yes. Okay. Cool. But yeah, like, I mean, he's made of mirrors. I feel like that's an extremely easy thing to overcome, even by accident. He mentioned that he's kind of invisible, or he can be invisible because he's made of mirrors, but that only works if the surface behind it is also visible. So you're thinking of the holograms from Avengers, but like, if it's reflecting me, I know that that's not invisible. I mean,
But you're not. It can't reflect you because you're invisible. I'm sorry, I can't.
yeah. Okay. Even if it's reflecting the tree that's next to me, even if it's reflecting the mountain that's behind me, the tree, the rock, or anything, like you can clearly tell that that's a mirror and that it's not just you seeing straight through because whatever the background is, it's not there. So I feel like I can easily find him at that point in time. I'm invisible myself. He will never be able to see me. And I know exploding, if I stop moving, is a disadvantage at that point in time. But I mean, if I ever stop next to him, I self-implode. In Pokemon, if you self-destruct, and that's your last move, and that's how you take out their Pokemon, you still get the prize money. You still get that win.
They changed that rule.
Technically, I would still win at that point. Penalty. Disqualified. I mean, I just, honestly, dragons, very fierce individuals. I can tell you that for a fact. Velociraptor can do a substantial amount of damage to something bigger than itself. I mean, we've seen that in Jurassic World. And the fact that they're just made of mirrors, I feel like that makes it an easier opponent to take out. I'm good done.
Oh, I have questions.
Yeah.
A lot of questions.
Shoot.
Go.
Okay, first question's for Chandler. If you're made of mirrors and you breathe fire, wouldn't you just kill yourself because the mirrors would melt?
No, not necessarily.
But you're made of mirrors.
Yeah, the melting point of mirrors is like really high.
The ability to, I mean, the dragon's fire's temperature is
It's
extremely
super
high.
Like,
You've seen Game of Thrones.
It'll burn
I mean,
anything.
yeah, it burns
so that's
metal
so
suits
I'm
and.
sort of like, how does a dragon's mouth not?
Once again, it's an ability that I have, not one I have to use.
All right. Question for Tony.
Yes.
So when you self-implode, doesn't that not make you dead?
Yes. That's my. No, that's what I'm saying. Like, if it's my last resort, if he stops me, if he chomps on me, because it happens to be able to find me even though I'm invisible, I self-implode. And that's when I brought up the example of like in Pokemon that if I self-implode, I would still get that win.
So you
have to
him.
always be moving.
Can I rebut that explosion thing?
He does have 2 penalty strikes. So do we allow that?
No.
What?
All right, let's continue.
Last question for Chandler. Are the mirrors just like regular mirrors? Because what Tony said is like if they're mirrors, then they're reflecting what's on the ground, but then you wouldn't see what's on the ground in the sky. So that doesn't make you practically invisible. That makes you actually more invisible. Because I think
Also, the light reflection.
the Avengers thing, I see where you got that, but
Yeah.
they literally become the sky. They're not reflecting the ground.
Well, okay. Can I?
So like,
All right, answer his question. Go.
like,
Yeah.
like that's just you're not the Avengers ship from Spider-Man Homecoming. That's all I'm saying.
And they weren't using mirrors. They were using
Retroreflective
The
panels.
surfaces that were showing the other side of the plane.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they were using videos to reflect.
Yeah.
Around.
Okay, my thing is like, let's say I'm on like, have y'all ever been in a house of mirrors?
Yes.
Like if I'm on the ground, right? Like let's say I'm just like on the ground, right? And you're looking directly at me, and I'm made of mirrors. Like, or have you ever like
What do you
been?
mean by-
Then-
Okay.
I'm, like, down on
For
the
example,
ground.
you know that like phenomenon like when you're at a restaurant and you're like in like a line of booths, and then you look to the side, and then you look there, you think there's more booths, but you actually realize it's just a mirror, and you didn't realize that because the mirror is like just reflecting perfectly back at you, and you just don't, and it just looks perfectly like a new straight line of things. Have you ever just like been looking at something and you were like,
I
oh
really
shit, that's
don't
just a
think
mirror.
he knows how mirrors
it's
work.
Not. Liz says yes.
I understand what you
Yeah.
Revoke the master's
And
degree,
so like
please.
if he's running around outside, he would like look straight at me, and I would just be reflecting directly what's back at him. And because he can't see himself, because he is invisible, he wouldn't be able to tell that it's a mirror until he ran into me.
Well, he knows he's invisible. though.
Depends where you are.
Yeah, I mean, if you're in a restaurant, okay, cool. I mean, but
But then, yeah, if
what
I'm
restaurant
there's
is big enough to hold a
things, there's like the reflective
I'm not saying in a
surface
restaurant,
only
I'm saying, like-
works
I'm
because
saying, like,
what
I
you're
am the
looking
mirror,
at is the
though.
same thing.
okay, but if you're looking in a field, you're gonna go, wait a minute, like why? And if there's a reflection point off just the mouth, it's like why is there half a tree right there?
Right. But if he always has to keep moving, I'd imagine he'd be pretty tired and wouldn't be like that observant of all of these things.
But if he's been growing up moving his whole life,
But you have to stop. Nothing can move forever. You know, you have to
Chuck
stop.
Norris can.
Chuck Norris can.
Chuck Norris can.
No, but then they
then-
oftentimes will die because they stop moving.
This was not the question. He is taking extra time.
Okay.
Does Tony turn off his invisibility? Like, is he old?
It just
It
says
just says invisible.
Yeah, so like,
That is my life.
so what stops him from turning it off, right? If he's just.
Because
Or
it
is it
doesn't say can turn
permanently-
invisible. It just says invisible. Like you are invisible. Like I'm not can turn off being made of mirrors. I am just made of mirrors. So he is just invisible.
Well, you just said
Alright.
that it was an ability that you didn't have to use, like
Breathing fire. No, breathing fire.
Right,
It's something that dragons
one's a
have.
gray area. He's allowed that.
All right, more questions. Nope. Something? Anything? No?
I mean, I guess Mark,
I
even
win?
though you're not judging, you can't ask questions.
Oh no, I have a winner in my head. I don't have
But you can't vote.
I
So.
can't vote.
No, you can vote.
I've made my decision.
I feel like I have questions, but I've already made my decision also.
Wait, no. Ask the question.
No,
Ask
just
the
say it.
question.
Just say it. Just say it.
Just for Chan, okay, like, so what's your character? You said you're a dragon, right?
My dragon.
Okay, it's just you gave so many different examples of dragons. I don't know what kind of dragon.
Yeah,
actually
you're saying that you can talk, you have magic,
I'm
like
just,
there's
confused,
you're
but
pulling a lot of
I'm
things into
also,
this.
Like, I'm okay.
Hypothetically, I could be any of those kinds of dragons and none of them at the same time.
All right, that's fine.
He's a dragon that doesn't exist, so I won.
Imaginary.
All right, who's voting for this one? Sharice, Liz, and Lawrence.
Yeah.
I think so, yeah.
Tony.
Tony.
God damn it!
The Pokemon statement got me.
No, okay. Can I clarify the Pokemon statement?
But it won't
The person-
change, it won't change.
It won't change the vote. But he misunderstood it. If you use explosion or self destruct, you go down before the opponent goes down. Like you lose all your HP, and then you go down, and then they lose all their HP, and then it says, "Oh, all of your Pokemon blacked out," and then you wake up in a Pokemon.
But then
Center.
again, if that was a fight, it's like who took who out?
But you took yourself out, and so I was still
Yeah.
standing before. I was still standing after you, like
But
fell.
but if you're a mirror, I mean, bro, you're
Yeah, I
You're
was thinking,
done.
The reason why I didn't vote for you is because like if you're flying and then you accidentally like land
Man, that's not
really
the only
hard,
reason.
Yeah.
you shatter.
But
That's not the only reason.
oops.
Or like if you're like flying and like a bird like accidentally
Just
hits
smashes
you,
into you. You're cracked. You're shattered.
I don't think you're as invisible as you think
That's
because
hilarious.
the mirrors like it's not
Yeah,
reflecting
you're-
perfectly. Like the Avengers example, they're using like literal
Yeah.
technology. To
When you
make
said
an
the
reflection,
restaurant
to become
thing,
invisible.
and you think that it's further, it's only because it's reflecting the booths that are in perfectly dimensionally like sized.
right, but if I'm like in the middle of a field or
But then
something,
you're not perfectly dimensionally sized. You
Yeah.
like have bumps and
Yeah, I mean,
corners and
I mean, we even talked about the example with the
dragon's
light
not a
reflection. If
rectangle.
I see something like if you're in the middle of a field, how like think about the sun and how it's hitting you and it's reflecting light. You're gonna be super bright. You're gonna be some like Edward Cullen type of like shininess in the field.
nah, y'all are just against me.
No.
Let's go. Let's go show Chan how mirrors work.
Well,
But you gave that your Sharice's cell phone blinding you.
Yeah, that's what I was.
statement
Yeah.
earlier. This is basically a mirror.
Yeah.
whatever. I'm not salty about it. Thanks everybody for listening to the episode or watching the video of us playing Superfight. If you liked it, let us know. Maybe we'll play some other games on the show sometime.
Pull up.
Yeah,
We have a lot of
We'll
polls.
see who really won.
yeah. Actually, let us know why you think I should have won all 3 rounds instead of just the first one.
I got you a Krusty Krab, bro.
Dude, the Krusty Krab one, that one does not make any sense.
No, imaginary.
So much
You're
fun.
I think that one
imaginary.
would have beat Chuck Norris.
Everybody's immobilized when they're sad in Bikini Bottom. Yeah, literally, Mr. Krabs loses $1 and he cries and he's sad and he like just
No,
stays.
but
Yeah,
like
and
that.
then
At the end of the
I
day,
feel like
you
that
still
turns
have-
into
You
rage,
still have
man.
Squidward at the end of the day because that's
Yeah, but
his
Squid-
secret. He's
okay.
always sad.
Yeah, but Squidward also is like the textbook example of no motivation.
What are you talking about?
Yeah, he does stuff.
He plays clarinet, dude.
He's been playing clarinet badly for the last 20 years.
Exactly. He has motivation to keep going.
Right.
Yeah, he has something to live for.
And, like he's a terrible like artist, but he's still
How many times has Squidward made a joke about wanting to die?
But he never does.
That's
Motivation to keep living.
Whatever. Thanks for watching. My name's
Just a call for
Chandler.
help. My name is Tony.
Oh, who are you all?
My name's Lawrence.
My name is Liz.
My name is Brandon.
And my name's Charisse.
And that's actually Mark over there. Okay, bye.